are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
Hello, and welcome once again to another fantastic Tuesday where I get to do what I do best, which is help you get back on track. Happy New Year, everyone. My name is Tyrone Glover, and I am the Dress Down CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery. Happy brand new 2024. I hope that everything is, again, day 2 going accordingly. As I told you, I was going to give you one day to kind of, get over whatever it may have been. If you sauced it a little too much, if you partied a little too hardy, whatever it is that you did to bring it in 2024, I want you now to be focused. I want you now to be resolute. I want you to be dedicated. I want you to be committed, because those are the only 3: dedicated, resolute, and committed. Those are the ones who are going to see success. Those are the ones who are going to see success: the dedicated, the resolute, and the committed. All right. So again, we are now entering into a brand new year. We got a brand new political cycle that's going to be confronting us, or getting in front of us, right here in November. I hope you guys are going to be paying attention, going to be listening, going to be doing what you need to be doing. I know this is not a political show, but all of this, it all ties in. It all ties in together. And the more that we can help you understand what you're going to have to do, what you are going to have to do to stay on point, this is what this year is going to be about. I'm going to be talking about finance. I'm going to be talking about how we make sure we get our priorities in order so that we can, day 2 now, start putting ourselves back into some organized fashion where we can have more say-so, more power, more control over what's going to be happening in this country. It is about power, greed, and control, folks. It is about power, greed, and control. We have to change the narrative. We have to do our part. And the best way to do our part is to understand how we got into this to begin with, how we got into it. And I can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about how I want us to know what we're going to need to do to get out of this. All right. So again, as I stated, my name is Tyrone Glover, and I am the Dress Down CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery. Before I start, I want to give a shout out to the creator, because without him, none of this would be possible. I want to give a shout out to my fantastic family here at Soul City Network, and all who are involved in making sure that we can do these shows, like Verizon, Comcast, Fire TV, Roku TV, Amazon. I mean, we are so connected, and it is such a privilege to be part of this network, Soul City Network, with the leadership of Matt, Jasmine, those who are behind the scenes and do what they need to do to make sure that we are ready for you every single day of the week. Yes, we do programming every single day of the week on this particular network. I might only be here on Tuesdays, but you should chime in. You should chime in every single day to see what is available, because there's a lot of wonderful content available. Lots and lots and lots of wonderful content available. So get on board with the network. I'm going to jump right into what I'm going to be presenting to you today, which is going to be talking about generational wealth. If we're not rich already, if you are not rich already, I can tell you right now, the reasons behind that is because of the fact that no wealth was passed down. No wealth was passed down. There was no wealth passed down from one generation to the next generation. If you're not rich right now, again, I knew my grandmother. I didn't know my great grandmother, but again, I'm going to go back a couple of generations. You got your greats, you got your great greats, you got your great great greats, and we're going to start right there. That great great great. So you got your great great great, your great great, your great grand, and then your grandmother. So that's 4 already generations. Then you got your parent, and then you got you. Right? Wealth was created, and it is passed down from generation to generation to generation to generation. If you're not rich, I'm not saying that you can't get rich, but that wealth is probably going to elude you until we decide to break the cycle. Yes, we the people, are going to have to decide what is it that we want of our nation. Because clearly, if you've been following along, if you've been paying attention, if you've been doing the things that you should be doing, you've probably seen, wow, it's a little bit tough out there, a little bit real. The struggle's real. And the reason why the struggle is real is because they've removed a lot of elements from the preparatory stage, K through 12. They did a lot of what they needed to do to protect laws to keep certain individuals from. And now that we are at this pinnacle, this very serious part in our history, it's time that we course correct. And this is what this show is all about. This show today is about not creating a New Year's resolution, but rather than let's course correct. All right, course correction. How does that sound? No more New Year's resolutions, because what do we do them for? We get them, we say them, and then about week 2, 3, maybe a month in, we already have blown that out the water. How about a course correction? How about we do something that we already know that we have to do anyway? Our GPS. When you're driving down the road and you take a left when it told you to go straight, what is that GPS going to do? It's going to course correct. When you are in school and you happen to not be getting the best grades, what do you have to do? You get a tutor, you get a mentor, you get somebody who can help you course correct. When you are on a basketball team, football team, baseball team, and you go in that locker after that break and you're down 50 points, 30 points, 10 points, 100 points, whatever that may be, what do? You course correct. And now that we're talking about your finance, we want you to do the exact same thing. We want you to course correct. And if you do, I'm telling you, with the help, with all of the assistance, every week I say the exact same thing. Opportunity is knocking, folks. It's knocking, and it's asking you to open that door, because the experts, those who are smart, brilliant, bright, intelligent, savvy, wise, in their area of expertise, we want to help. We sincerely want to assist and make sure that you move forward in 2024 and beyond, and you have everything that you need to be able to move forward. Now, everything is a very large word, so my apologies. Everything is never going to be possible or achievable, but we want to make sure that you have at least what you need to be able to build upon reaching those goals. And if we can do that now, if we can get you on track on day 2, course correcting everything that was, forgetting about the past and moving into a brand new understanding of how you're going to have to generate wealth, well, I hope this particular show today helps you understand where you may lie. All right. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump on into it. Generational wealth. So let's talk a little bit about Leverage Credit Recovery. Welcome to our company. Leverage Credit Recovery is your trusted partner on the journey to financial empowerment. This is what this is all about. Empowering you. Making sure that you understand we want to empower you, the citizen, to have more control over the circumstances that have been presented to you. And a lot of it is because you just don't know. You're unaware. We're removing all of those blockages. We're removing all of those obstacles. We're putting this back into play so that you, the individual, will have more than enough things to do. All right, we're attempting to make sure that you, the citizen, will be able to continue where you left off. All right, but on a more of a positive understanding, how to move forward as we course correct. And if we do that successfully, you're going to be the beneficiaries of that success. You, the individual, and that's what we want. So we love to empower. This is about empowerment. Our mission is to help individuals and businesses regain control of their financial destinies by expertly navigating the intrinsics of credit recovery. All right, with a team of seasoned professionals, and I have partnered with some bright, smart, savvy individuals in their own areas of expertise to help guide us down this pathway. I'm going to do the credit piece. I'm going to do the day trading piece. I know that's a very, very scary word, but it's a piece that I'm telling you right now, if you add that to your repertoire, what you don't know will definitely hinder you, but that is something that will take you to that next level. If you figure out how, with help, with assistance, with guidance. All right, so as you navigate the intrinsics of credit recovery, with a team of seasoned professionals, we specialize in identifying and rectifying inaccuracies in credit reports, negotiating with creditors for favorable settlements, and providing personal strategies for sustained financial well-being. All right. Yes, you're going to need people who can talk to people that you cannot talk to, because sometimes our emotions get in the way. Sometimes our feelings get in the way. And in a court of law, you can't bring feelings. You have to bring facts. All right. When you're talking to these businesses on the phone, primarily, most of them are out of this country. They're not even in our country. So you're talking to somebody who doesn't understand our laws. You're talking to somebody who is following a script. And it's really important not to get bought into these things, because if you do and you end up signing again on something, you're going to end up paying somebody something that you don't necessarily need to pay. All right, at Leverage Credit Recovery, we understand the significance of a robust credit profile, and we are committed to empowering our clients with the tools and insights they need to achieve their financial goals. Elevate your credit, reclaim your financial freedom. That's the promise we deliver at Leverage Credit Recovery. All right, that was a little bit about the company, and now here we are. Not a New Year's resolution, rather a course correction. Right? This is why this is so important, because all of you, including myself, course correcting, redesigning, reconfigure. How do we make sure that 2024 is going to be that opportunity that's going to take us beyond? All right, we're forgetting about everything that happened in the past. You have to forget about it. You have to put it to the past. I say it all the time, or I've said it many a times before. I want all of us in 2024 to own up today. I want you to own up to just your 10%. Oh, yes. 10% of your financial hardships is all you need to own up to, because 90% of it, and I can't wait till I get my chance, my time in Congress to be able to explain it very in depth as to why I believe it's a 90-10 type of conversation. Because 10% of us getting in our financial ways, I'm more than able and capable of making sure that our leaders understand that 90% of what's been going on has nothing to do with us. Manipulation, deception, greed. All right, manipulation, deception, and greed is what has 60 to 70% of the population financially underwater, struggling. And it's pretty sad. Leverage Credit Recovery isn't just about resolutions. It's a strategic course correction in your financial journey. We recognize that lives twisted in turn can sometimes impact credit scores. That's where we come in, offering a focused and focused and results-driven approach to recalibrating your financial path. Our seasoned professionals specialize in pinpointing discrepancies, navigating with negotiating with creditors, and crafting tailored strategies to redirect your financial trajectory. It's not about temporary fixes. It's a commitment to a sustained course correction, not quick fixes. That's not part of our repertoire. We want sustainable course corrections, things that are going to take you from today into not just next year, not just the year after that, not just the year after that, but generational. We want to make sure that you have the ability to create generational wealth. And it starts here today, this Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024. What do you want for your financial future? I'm asking you that question. What do you want? Because if you want the future that I want for you, then you need to get on board. It's just that simple. All right. So as I said, not temporary fixes. There's a lot of temporary fixes out there. There's a lot of schemers and shiesty people out there, carnies and individuals who are snake oil salesmen offering, but not delivering. Oh, we have deliverables here. And that's what I want you to understand as you listen to this show today, or have to go back and it's going to be re-recorded. It's going to be recorded, but it's going to let you also leave some questions and answers if you have some as we move through. We're looking to give you your best year yet. Your best year yet. And if you want it, you're going to have to come after it. You're going to have to get it. Because as I said, we're knocking. We're going to continue to keep knocking all 2024. And if we need to in 2025, we'll do another course correction, because we're going to make sure as a business, that's what businesses do. We improve every single year. New laws are coming out. So I'll be definitely talking about the new laws that hit the credit books, whether or not things are to our favor, or if more shenanigans have been thrown into the mix, where we're going to lose even more of our rights when it comes to our consumer protections. All right. So at Leverage Credit Recovery, we believe in rewriting financial narratives and providing you with the tools for a resilient and empowered financial future. This is not a resolution. It's a decisive move towards financial success. You want it, we got it, we offering it to you. Offer. We're not selling you anything. We're offering you an opportunity to get from behind the 8 ball and move in front, so that you can have the ability to sustain and create the financial future, create that generational wealth that will break these cycles of debt. But it seems like the African-American community, it seems like the Hispanic community, it seems like way too many ethnic groups are passing down debt versus passing down wealth. All right, so as of my last knowledge update in January 2024, I can provide a general overview of wealth distribution by generations and ethnicities in the United States. However, it is important to note that specific data can change over time, and you may want to consult more recent sources for latest information. But as I said, up until 2024, I did my research. I dug into the processes. I literally did what I needed to do to provide you with great information for this particular topic. And if you're paying attention, listening to it, hey, as I said, come back. You need to go over it again. Come back, get that recording. As I said, it's on a variety of different stations and channels and networks out there. And if you want to know what I know, go back and revisit the recording, or send me a link, send me an email, and I'll be more than happy to send that out to you. All right, so let's talk about these generations, wealth distribution by generation. So the first generation that we're going to be talking about is the silent generation. These are those born between 1928 and 1945. This generation holds a significant portion of wealth due to the factors such as home ownership, pensions, and long-term job stability. All right. Home ownership. You would not believe how much that has a huge impact. Home ownership is asset, folks. That's asset. That asset grows. That asset allows for you to have leverage. That leverage allows for you to go to lending institutions, banks. It allows for you to have so much more than those who are just renting. And is another one of those fantastic questions that I've always posed to those in that realm of legislating or regulating. Why is it that you folks do not take credit? Why is it that you folks do not allow for your rent to be added to all three credit bureaus? Why? Some of you, one of you, I don't care who it is, one of you in Congress, one of you at Equifax Transient Experience, one of you as a regulator, somebody has to answer that question. The one thing that would help so many, tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of people get from behind the eight ball if you just add one thing to the credit profile. That is that rent. That rent. And why is it that you will not add it? You allow for mortgage to be added, but that rent you won't allow to be added. Oh, because it would pull so many individuals out of and from behind. That's something that needs to be thought of. Pensions, long-term job stability. Even those who have long-term job stability are just pretty much shy a paycheck away from. So that ownership piece, that home ownership plays the biggest role in this silent generation. But having all of the other components only help too, and help that generation also create wealth. Look at the baby boomers. Baby boomers born between 1946 and 1964. Baby boomers bring a large demographic, have diverse wealth distribution. Some have accumulated sustainable wealth, often tied to home ownership and retirement savings, while others may face financial challenges. Yes, again, so these baby boomers were able to, prices were still relatively low, inflation was low, interest rates were low, so that did contribute to, again, home ownership. And I love that it keeps popping up. And you're going to see in a minute, it's going to start dwindling away because home ownership started to elude individuals. It wasn't there any longer. And why again? Why? We would want, or you would think you would want, if you're paying $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $3,000, whatever amount that you're paying, it would be beneficial for a financial institution, a bank, a lender, regardless of your credit situation, to put you into something that you own. You would be more inclined to keep up on your payments if it was yours and yours alone versus giving someone that bread who's not living up to their contractual obligations by making sure that you have clean water, by making sure that you have fixes that need to be fixed, making sure that they took care of the monthly or quarterly or bi-yearly type of repairs that needed to be done. A lot of these landlords, sorry to have to say it, I'm not throwing everybody into the same bucket, but hey, if you're a landlord, some of you are slumlords. Some of you don't need to be even operating apartment buildings. You're that bad. And unless we have regulators and legislators and individuals who are going to hold your feet to the fire, we're going to still have these types of situations where individuals would rather not pay their rent, again, putting it in escrow, letting it sit there until these repairs are done is the process in which you should be doing it. But unfortunately, due to a lot of the circumstances, people find themselves right in the courts trying to explain, and the courts are tired of it. I've been there myself. Yes, I've been there plenty of times, not just for myself, but for others. I do, exactly. I go into court. I argue for individuals as a pro se litigant because they don't speak that language. Yes, the courts want facts, and they don't necessarily like to hear it from a third party, but I tell you right now, if that individual said, I don't speak business, and they needed somebody to speak business against a lawyer who clearly doesn't understand the debt, the credit debt at all. There's a lot of these law firms out there that don't understand not one thing. They're doing it because they know 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 times they win because anybody who gets something that is signed or got a heading of a law firm, more than likely that individual is going to be a little bit shaken in their boots, and they're going to do something with every single person does. They call a law firm or they see the law firm at court, they guilt them into it, so they sign another contractual obligation, and then you end up paying a third party that you don't even need to pay. So I tell you, this all ties in. This all ties in. So the baby boomers, again, they were able to increase a lot of their understanding, create that generational wealth, because again, home ownership and retirement savings were far greater 20, 30 years ago. That interest that you were getting on your returns was a lot better than they are today. Because a lot of times, a lot of the understandings you don't even know. And it's sad that you have invested in something and do not have a clear understanding of how it's going to be giving you a return. All right? Savings, while other may face, financial challenges. Generation X, born between 1965 and 1980. So this is my generation. Generation X may face challenges in wealth accumulation due to economic turndown and housing market fluctuation. So you can see now the economics of went south, and equally on top of that, the housing market also fluctuated. And it fluctuated significantly because the prices of things went up. If you think back to the silent generation, if you think back to the baby boomers, I bet you anything, them houses were not $300 and $400 and $500 and $600 million. Them houses was in that 30, 40 range, where it was doable, where it was easy to obtain. And I'm still kind of stuck on stupid when I just do not understand how is it that Blacks, Hispanics were not able to capitalize as much as we should have been able to capitalize. And today it's even worse when you got big business or big Wall Street now buying up property. They're not buying up the apartment buildings. They're buying up these singular homes and double homes or multifamily homes. That's what they're buying up. Wall Street knows it's got its hands in a pot that it necessarily does not need to be in. And I hope that Congress decides to strike that down real quick. We got to do a better job, folks. We got to do a better job. All right, so we got the market fluctuation. Some have benefited from investments in home ownership, while others have had experienced setback. And that others is a large amount of individuals. It's a large amount of individuals. It's in the millions that have setbacks, all due to things that are, I would guess you could say, course correctable. Yes. Course correction. Congress needs to help out. We need to help out. Cities need to help out. Municipalities need to help out. We have the ability. Why can't we make sure we do? But 2024 is about that. It's about making sure that those, as I said in the beginning, dedicated, committed, resolute. You will be the ones who succeed if you put your mind, if you put your efforts, and if you allow for those who can help you, guide you down that pathway, you will have the success that you want. All right, millennials, born to 1981 to 1996. Millennials, on average, have faced economic challenges such as student loan debt and entering the workforce during a Great Recession. All right, home ownership rates are often lower compared to previous generations at a similar age. So they were lower, but they've gone up again. They were a tad bit lower. All right. This was a time frame in which things did seem very, very doable. But unfortunately, along the way, too many of us got pushed out of that market. And every time I hear that, every time I see it, every time I read something that shows even more information about how certain ethnic groups got pushed out of those markets, it's not cool. But as I stated, we're not sending out a resolution. We're sending out a course correction. Stop thinking about, oh, I'm going to give up sugar, or I'm going to give up coffee, or I'm going to give up my cigarettes, or I'm going to give up whatever it is. Those things, obviously, when you're doing in abundance, then clearly, yes, you need to pull back. Quitting altogether would be great. But moderation would be the best way. But this right here, course correcting, putting you on a pathway to, you're not really giving up anything. You're just deciding that you do not want to be struggling any longer. That's all this is. Deciding. Choices. 2024 could be that what you need, what you want. All right, so the Great Recession. Home ownership rates are lower, are often lower compared to previous generations at a similar age. Generation Z, born after 1996. As the youngest generation in the workforce, Gen Z has not had as much time to accumulate wealth. So there you have it. I just said it. If wealth was not passed down, you are Generation Z, it just says, has not had time to accumulate wealth. Things have not been in your favor. And if it wasn't passed down from the previous generations, you can break the cycle. You can create the building blocks that will allow for you now to create wealth as you go from your generations to the next generations, to the next generations. You may have kids, your kids may have kids, their kids may have kids. Create the wealth that you want, and it's going to have to start today, day 2 of 2024. All right? So they may not have had the time to create wealth. Many are still in their early stages of their careers and education. But with all that student loan debt, with the jobs that are not there because employers are being very, very selective, we were duped, meaning those who had to take on student loans were duped. They were lied to. They were cheated out of the opportunities of a good job by industries that told them these are the routes in which you have to go. And how did they pay off? They didn't pay off. $2.4 or $5 trillion worth of student loan debt. And Joe Biden is doing everything that he possibly can, went to the Supreme Court, argued it there, and they still struck it down, but he's still doing whatever he can to make sure that students get some type of relief. Students, I'm here to tell you, you need to call Tyrone. You need to call Tyrone, and we can put you back on a pathway to financial success. Because I wouldn't mind going to court, I wouldn't mind going to Congress and arguing every single case that was presented to me to help you get the result that you're looking for. You got any questions, folks? Do not hesitate. Drop them questions in that chat, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're watching us on StreamYard. Doesn't matter. Or, yeah, StreamYard, that's the other app that we're using. It doesn't matter. You need to get in front of your financial situations this year, 2024, because if something happens, we end up with somebody who already said that they're going to be a dictator for one day. I really don't believe that a habitual liar, I really don't believe that someone who's got 91 federal charges against them, should they get back into that office, is going to only be a dictator for one day. That's another one of those big lies that this individual constantly keeps putting out there. He did it for one day. He's going to do it for the entirety of his presidency. And God only knows whether or not we would even get another opportunity to even vote again if that individual makes it into that house again. We got to be careful, folks. We got to be careful. This is not to scare anyone. This is to prepare. I like that. Not to scare, but to prepare. If you do your part. All right, so you already know that many are still in their early stage of careers and education. So wealth distribution by ethnicity. And this is another one that really kind of shakes the core. How is it that some ethnic groups benefit while other ethnic groups struggle so significantly? All right, white Americans, historically, white households have had higher median wealth compared to other racial or ethnic groups. Home ownership, again, that word keeps popping up. And as you saw in the earlier, that word popped up earlier, and then somehow, as time went on, kind of eroded away from those generations. Here you can see it clearly again. Home ownership has been a significant factor in wealth accumulation for many white families. Is it that banks saw white families as more, what's the word is a good word, as more reliable? Or was there other issues that may have that were presented and prevented other ethnic groups from equally the same understanding? Black Americans, Black households on average have faced challenges in wealth accumulation due to historical and systemic factors, including discriminatory practices in housing and employment, the two areas which are so significant. And unfortunately, we were left out. Left out by our own, no question, because we decided to fight each other for pennies while trillions were trickling up. We decided to stand in our own way and not help each other as we should have been doing when you think back to Black Wall Street, 1921, where we did what we needed to do to create the infrastructures where we used to have our our resources that stayed in our communities for 2 months to 3 months. You know how long wealth stays in our community now? 2 to 6 hours. 2 to 6 hours in the Black community. That's not enough time to allow for individuals to touch, feel, invest, do the things that they need to do. 2 to 3 months was more than enough time. Because that would circulate and everybody's hand was getting a beast. Everybody. But today, it's abysmal. We have to course correct. If we do, I'm telling you, the opportunities that are there, the trillions of dollars that are there, we can make a huge impact, not only on our generation currently, but the generations that are to follow. And also, it gives us political power. Yeah, too much money is in politics? Absolutely right. There's not enough in politics from those who really are not receiving the understanding of what politics is there to do. All right, I asked my students today, I said, would you rather be governed or ruled? And a lot of them were looking at me like, what does that mean, sir? What does that mean, sir? Well, we are a democracy. And in a democracy, we have governments that should be governing. We don't have kings. We don't have dictators. We don't have individuals that want to rule. But unfortunately, it seems that that is the course in which this country has gone to some degree. We keep talking about we the people, but we the people have less to say because our elected officials have clearly their own objectives, their own directions. That's not the way the Constitution was written. That's not the way the Constitution was supposed to be put out in the manner in which it's put out. I don't mind having the constitutional debate. I'm not a constitutional lawyer or scholar in any regards. I listen to, I follow, and I also pick up my own readings to make sure that I'm giving that most understanding and reliable information. But I can tell you, I can hold my own with the best of them if need be. And there's going to come a time where that's going to be needed. Because my area of expertise, which is credit, as I told you, is an area that's going to secure, it's going to allow for this one building tool, this one building opportunity. Credit is a building opportunity. You're going to need it more and more and more and more and more. It helps you with obtaining, securing, debiting cash. You might as well get that out of your vocabulary because all it allows for others to do is make money off of you. It allows for them to build their own businesses, to build their own households, to build their own financial futures, while the rest of us struggle. This has to stop. It has to stop. It has to stop today on day 2. All right, Hispanic Latino Americans. Wealth distribution among Hispanic Latino households can vary widely. Factors such as immigration status, education, and employment opportunities contribute to this diversity. All right. Again, ethnic group to ethnic group loses more. They lose more. Asian Americans. Asian American households have diverse wealth distribution with variations based on specific ethnic backgrounds, educational attainment, and entrepreneurship often played a role in wealth accumulation. Now, we know that the Asians will do what they need to do to make sure that that wealth stays within that household, that it's passed down. They will help each other. They will do what they need to do to make sure that that ethnic groups continue to keep growing. And it seems like African Americans and Hispanics, we're the only one that constantly are fighting ourselves when we need to be joining, coming together, connecting those fibers. But they've done a great job. They've done a great job with making sure that we are always arguing and fighting over pennies. Like I said, trillions trickle up. Trillions trickle up. Ronald Reagan did a job. And when he lowered that from 70 to 23%, 28%, oh yes, 1983. Go look it up, folks. Go do your homework. What did Ronald Reagan drop that interest rate to? Or the tax liability that was? It was already at a level where it was doing some good. It was allowing for the country to build roads, build libraries. The infrastructure was being taken care of. But as soon as you got a president in there who said, oh, trickle-down economics is going to solve the problem, it never trickled down, it trickled up. Trillions went up while millions were put into poverty situations. Trillions trickled up with the hope that, oh my God, yes, we're going to make sure that everybody has. We're going to send them over here, some over there. No, creating what we have today. All right. It's important to acknowledge that these are general terms and individual circumstances can vary widely within each demographic group. Additionally, addressing wealth distribution often requires considering systemic factors, policy initiatives, and social and economic changes. For the most up-to-date and specific information, you may want to refer to certain reports and studies from reputable sources like the U.S. Census Bureau, Federal Reserve, and other research institutions. Guess what? Did that. Guess where I have all this information from? Reputable institutions that you may not want to spend the time in researching or understanding or even looking up. That's what I said. I'm the heavy lifter. I do not mind doing the heavy lifting. Not at all. Not at all. Because guess what? We need individuals who don't mind doing that. I do not mind helping anyone who wants to get into a situation that's going to allow for them to have a better future. If that's what you want, I believe you need to reach out. I believe you need to do your part. And your part is listening, paying attention, and then going out and doing. It's about the actions now, folks. It's about the actions. We can sit and talk about all the things that we want to talk about. We are eloquent when it comes to words. We are almost so good at, but unfortunately, that applying is where we lack. We need to make time for these understandings. This is going to be the 2024 making time, not finding, because you can't find time. There's nowhere you can find it. If you could have found it, trust me, it would be bigger than any stock out there. It would be larger than any entity out there. There was a market for finding time. You cannot find it. You have to make it. 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is. You do the task, you get it done, and you move on. Do the task, get it done, move on. It's not that hard to understand. You get it done, find the task, move on. You got to want this more than those who are presenting it to you. Because if you do, I'm telling you, life is going to be better. It's going to be better. You're going to enjoy the life that you create for yourself. But you have to want it more than those who are offering it to you. All right, so wealth accumulation is a complex and multifaceted process influenced by a variety of factors, including employment or education, employment, opportunities, social economic conditions, and systemic factors. While not having inherited wealth or not being born into wealth, families can present certain challenges. It does not dictate an individual's entire financial future. You're absolutely right. It doesn't. And this is what's going to help you with maintaining and getting into and out of poor, fair, good, and finding yourself in a very good and even sometimes an exceptional credit. And that's what we should be striving for. 2024, out of the poor, out of the fair, out of the good, into the very good, and into the exceptional conditions that we have longed for. Overdue time. Course correction is where we need to put that focus. No more resolutions, course corrections. You want the life that you deserve, where you're going to have to make the time to get that type of an understanding. Not that hard, not that challenging, actually very, very simple, very, very easy. Next week or the week after that, I'm going to bring in some of my guests who have been clients, who now have that first home, that second home, have found themselves putting forth the effort in the work and now reaping the benefit. You got to want it more than those who are presenting it to you, folks. I'm telling you. Here are several conditions that also impact how wealth is created. Education and skilled development. Investing in education and acquiring valuable skills can significantly impact one's earning potential. Continuous learning and skill development enhances career opportunities and increases the likelihood of achieving financial success. Keeping oneself knowledgeable, keeping oneself informed, keeping oneself in that academia, that whether you get it from a private entity or whether you're someone like myself who continuously, as an individual, constantly keeps looking and searching and educating themselves. That's what we need to start really focusing on. How do we continue to, even though some of those challenges might be preventing us from? There's independent studies, the World Wide Web. Since the World Wide Web, I have to honestly say, I didn't get sillier, I didn't get dumber, I didn't get crazier, I got smarter. Because I wasn't swiping left, I wasn't using it just to take pictures of my food. I was using it for what it was intended to, which was giving me access to things that I never had access before to. And now that I do, hey, I'm a formidable force. And I take on any challengers who want to challenge my knowledge when it comes to my area of expertise. That's credit. And I've asked Equifax, I've asked TransUnion, I've asked Experian, this new one, Invidus. I've asked Congress. I've asked state and local officials. Y'all got issues? Y'all got problems? I do as well. We need to sit down. Guess what we probably can do? We could probably find some solutions. And anybody out there, Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, regulators, legislators, whoever, y'all want to challenge whether or not my information is up to date, up to par, please. You have an open invite, and up until this point, none of you have accepted. Shameful. But I'm still going to keep that door wide open for you. Still going to have that red carpet laid out for you anytime. All right, career choices and opportunities. These choices of careers and the ability to access and capitalize on employment opportunities can play a critical role. Certain professions and industries offer higher income potential and strategic career decisions can contribute to wealth accumulation. So again, career choices and opportunities. Career choices that aren't stagnant choices. They keep talking about, oh, the low income is now seeing an increase in their pay over a certain amount of time frame, blase. Well, for those of you who might not be as astute as I am, yeah, you might get 2%, 2%, 2%, because that's the number they keep yelling out there. Oh, it went up 2%, 2%. You get 2%. You live on fixed income where your city is going to now, oh, you got your 2%, brand new year. You're in a housing situation where that state knows how much that 2% is. They're going to snatch that 2% as soon as you get it. So millions of people never get that 2%, even though Congress keeps reiterating the fact, oh, 2%, 2%, 2%. I am not here bashing Congress. I am not here bashing the president. I'm not here bashing anyone who has done what they're supposed to be doing for our citizens. What I'm here doing is I'm here making sure that those who are not, those who forget about our citizens, that's who I'm here protecting and making sure. I'm not throwing up hand signals, folks. I got this really cool camera And this camera, because I talk with my hands, it likes to adjust itself. So my sincerest apology if you're seeing me throw up a peace sign or a letter L or my hand. It's just the way that this camera works. And I'm an over-explainer, so let's keep it moving. But yes, career choices and opportunities, they are playing a role. And if you yourself can figure that out, how to, guess what you're going to do? You're going to benefit. You're going to benefit significantly. You're going to benefit significantly. All right. Financial literacy and planning. Developing financial literacy and making informed financial decisions is essential. It is very much essential. Budgeting, saving, and investing wisely can contribute to building wealth over time. Understanding the basics of personal finance is a key factor in achieving financial goals. You have to want and must do these things. Entrepreneurship and innovation. Entrepreneurial endeavors and innovation provides opportunities to create wealth independently of inherited assets. Starting and growing a business is, if successful, can lead to significant financial success. These areas are so important and they all tie in. They all tie in. If you do what you need to do, guess what's going to happen? You're going to benefit richly. You just have to get out of your way. You have to make time for these initiatives. And once you do, I'm telling you, it's going to become a pattern. It's going to become a behavior. It's going to become where you see the success and you never want to go back to anything else other than this. Networking and mentorship. Building a strong personal network and seeking mentorships can provide valuable insights and opportunities. I keep telling you, one of my dearest mentors, friends, colleagues, Dr. Yana B, who also equally has a show on this network, Access Wealth Nation. She is so brilliant. She is so smart. She is so intelligent. She's that lane that I don't choose to be in, but it's also nice to be able to say, hey, I got some clients. Here you go. They need someone who's just as dedicated. They need someone who's just as committed. They need someone who's just as passionate. They need someone who understands that it's not just about that paycheck or it's not just about that fee that's being given. It's about that client. It's about that client, making sure that the client knows exactly what you're paying for. That free information that you're getting is going to be valuable information. Valuable information. We're not just talking to be talking. We're talking because we know what we're delivering is going to change your financial outcome for the better. All right. Systemic and societal factors. It's important to recognize that systemic factors such as economic policies, access to quality education, and social structures can impact opportunities of wealth creation. Advocacies for fair policies and social initiatives can contribute to addressing systemic inequalities. That's for Congress right there. That's for Congress to really finally understand, yes, you have not been serving the people. You've been serving a select group of people. One more time, I think you didn't hear me, but you haven't been serving we the people. You have been serving a selected group of people. That's not going to work moving forward. That's not going to be the understanding moving forward. And we, the people, we, the poor, we, the ever eroding middle class, we, the full-time working homeless. Oh yeah, I said it, full-time working homeless, and we, the citizens, consumers. We're now putting you all on notice. You're either going to do the job, oath, or not. You're not swearing an allegiance to a party. You're not swearing an allegiance to a person. You're swearing an oath to God that you will uphold, as I did as a veteran. And I haven't turned my back on that oath yet, nor do I have any plans on doing it. I swore by God that I would protect this country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And unfortunately, we have clearly in 2024 more domestic enemies than we do almost foreign enemies. And it's shameful to have to even say that. It's shameful. All right. Resilience and accountability. The ability to navigate challenges, adapt to changing circumstances, and persevere in the face of setbacks is critical. Resilience and adaptability contributes to long-term financial success. Long-term, that's wealth creation. That's generational wealth creation, long-term. If it wasn't passed down from great-grandma to parent to you, you can break the cycle. You can break the cycle. You just got to want it more than those who are presenting it to you. All right, we're about 6 minutes in, and we're going to ask if you got any questions out there. Please drop those questions in the YouTube. Drop those questions in the Facebook. Go on to StreamYard. If you got questions that you want to drop out in there, I've got a couple of more minutes where I can answer some questions while I wrap this up. But if you got a question or two, please put it out there. I would love to answer. If you don't have any questions today, send me a text, send me a email. I'll be giving you that information in just a minute. All right, so it's really important to understand. While not inheriting wealth or not having a generational head start can present challenges, many individuals have overcome such obstacles through a combination of hard work, strategic decision-making, and perseverance. It's important to approach financial success with a long-term perspective, long-term, okay? Not just 1 year after the next. No, having a goal. What am I going to accomplish this year in the next 6 months? What am I going to accomplish in 90 days? Make them short and extend them out if they need be, but have some long-term goals as well. I'm a trader, and I can tell you right now, not a trader in the sense that I've traded my civility for my fellow man. No, I'm a day trader. I'm someone who understands how to get into that market, make that bread, and get out. And that is a long-term understanding. But I can go long on a stock like Tesla. I can go long on a stock like Apple. I can go long on a stock, long-term, because if you go back and you look at those stocks, go back and look at those stocks. And I'll tell you, and I am here in front of you. Every single one of those that I've showed you or told you about has gone what? Up, 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 up. We got all these individuals crying and complaining, oh, the stock market was so bad, the stock market was so bad, my investments didn't pay off. Your investment didn't pay off, that's because you didn't work hard enough for those investments to pay off. I'm brand new to this game, and I can tell you right now, and I'll sit down with Jim Cramer, I'll sit down with CNBC, I'll sit down with Fox Business, I'll sit down with all of you. I keep asking you. But you don't want to take me up on my offer. You don't want to take me up because why? Oh, I might know some stuff. And that's okay. Because I don't need to be talking to you. My people who I need to talk to, I'm going to be talking to them. I'm going to be talking to them in Yonkers. I'm going to be talking to them as often as needed. Because I'm going to work at home first. I'm going to get that notoriety right here at home first. And then hopefully it will branch out by November 5th. We're going to be on point. All right. It's important to approach financial success with a long-term perspective, recognizing that building wealth often takes time and consistent effort. Additionally, addressing broader issues of economic inequality and advocating for policies that promote equal opportunity can contribute to a more inclusive and equitable society. Inclusive and equitable. Those seem like things that we should always be striving to have within our society. Inclusive versus exclusive. Equity versus fair. We need equitable understandings. We need inclusive policies versus what we have now, which is not doing it. We have to want better. And we need to want that to start today. Day 2. All right. Not that serious, folks. Not that serious. It's important to note that the social economic classes and complex classes are complex and multifaceted, and individuals within each class can have diverse backgrounds, experiences, and circumstances. Class dynamics can be influenced by factors such as income, education, occupation, and wealth. Additionally, the distribution for individuals across classes can vary, and specific data on classes dynamic might change over time. The following breakdown provides a general overview based on the common perceptions and trends as of my latest update or knowledge update in January 2024. What I'm going to do, folks, is I'm going to put the brakes on there because I got 2 minutes and I know I want to get out my information. That's going to allow for you to get in touch with me. And plus, I want to give you a nice thank you. This has been 2024, and I know this is the beginning of 2024, and I know that we are going to find ourselves somewhere where we probably don't want to be. I know it's going to happen, and I'm doing everything that I possibly can to make sure that it doesn't happen. So again, my name is Tyrone Glover. I am the Dress Down CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery. I can be reached at leveragecreditrecovery@gmail.com. That is leveragecreditrecovery@gmail.com. Drop us a line. You can reach me at 805-428-9424. Once again, that is 805-428-9424. And also equally, Linktree Leverage Credit Recovery. Linktree Leverage Credit Recovery. There you have it, folks. Thank you. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024. This is not any longer a New Year's resolution. This is now a course correction. Thank you, everybody. Please continue to remain safe, travel well, and I look forward to seeing you back here next Tuesday at 6 o'clock here on Soul City Network. Be safe.